Hello, my name is Alexandra with Theta Spring Hypnosis and Coaching. Today, what I'd like to talk about is emotional tolerance. We go through the day, and it's not unusual that each of us is going to go from high to low, happy to sad. There's so many things throughout the day that can actually trigger us to have an emotion. However, while this is in fact normal, there's a portion of society or the way that we've been raised or the limiting beliefs that we've created, which is telling us that it's not okay to have a reaction. For example, you might be going through a breakup or have gone through a breakup where everyone's like, don't worry about it, just forget about them and move on. The truth is, you're supposed to have an emotion. There is something that has happened within that relationship that has changed not only your relationship with that person, but the relationship that you have with yourself. And there are many emotions that can come front and center that can begin to create a shift in how we operate in our lives and on a behavior. But what happens is we become very intolerant of these emotions and we tend to avoid them. What we tend to do instead of letting them hit us, to feel them and to understand what they're doing for us, not to us, is we tend to push them down, push them away, and avoid them in hopes that if we avoid them long enough, they'll just go away. But emotions are like buoys. The more that you push them down and push them underneath the water, they're still going to want to come up. And so when they do, they spring up and they can feel even worse than they did before. It's almost like a reverse psychology. Don't think about that, and you want to think about it more. But the thing about emotions is this. There's no good or bad emotions. They're just emotions. There are some emotions we tend to like better than others, though. Some that we think are more beneficial, while others are detrimental. And I suppose that's how we tend to value emotions. But emotions are like colors. They're all normal. There's just some we like better. But sometimes you actually need sadness, anger, apathy, lethargy. Maybe there's something about these emotions that if you allow yourself to sit with them long enough, they can really help you begin to understand something about yourself. Not by asking the wrong questions of why am I having this or why do I feel this way, but what is it about this emotion that's trying to help me process right now? Or what is it about this emotion that I might need to feel in order to move forward in my life? The more we can begin to remove judgment on emotions, the more that we can begin to understand them and not be at the effect of them. The goal is not to never have a negative emotion or a stress reaction or a sadness, but rather to go there, to tolerate it, to understand it, so that you can move yourself out of it more quickly, seeing the opportunity in it versus feeling the effects of it all the time. So what's going to begin to happen is, how do you tolerate these emotions is the next step. It's first having an awareness that these emotions cannot hurt you. They might make you feel deep, but again, remember, there is nothing wrong with sadness. Most of the time, if there is depression, you might also want to begin to seek help for that too. It takes great strength to feel. And the more that you can begin to feel, the more you can begin to create a shift in your relationship with yourself so that you can have a greater relationship with the world around you. Sitting with emotions takes time. Let's start with, when you feel something, don't say it's right or wrong, just acknowledge it. Try to put your finger on what it is you are feeling. I feel sad. I feel annoyed. I feel anxious. I feel happy. Acknowledgement can begin to take the energy and fear out of it. Try to just sit with that emotion for 10 seconds. Where do you feel it in your body? What does it make you think of? Do you feel differently, like a little girl or a little boy? Do you feel old? What do you know about it? What can you learn about it? Get some data on it. Because the more data you have on it, the more options that you can create and what you want to do with it. And so these emotions, the more that you can begin to tolerate them, even if it's for 10 seconds, it's 10 seconds longer than you did it before. So when it comes up again, it's going to feel more familiar. Because remember, what's uncomfortable at first, the more you get to know it becomes comfortable. It's like the first day of school. You don't know anyone, it's scary, you're not sure where to go. Come the end of the semester, you're sad to leave. Get to know your emotions. I promise you they're not nearly as scary as you think. My name is Alexandra with Theta Spring Hypnosis and Coaching out of New York City. Have a great day.